few days ago, a friend of mine and I recorded a version of The Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News, and my mate played the drums. Now, somebody said, well, the drum kit's electronic. How do you get all those sounds out of it? Well, I'll show you. So on the computer screen here, you can see basically the track. The blue tracks are all my guitars and the bass. There's the vocal at the bottom, brass section above that, and then right at the top you've got the drum MIDI file, which is what he sent me. So far, so good. Now, I had to make a few repair jobs to this, not to the timing of any of the drums or any of the loudnesses. It was the sounds that I needed to tweak. Now, helpfully, and because he's a conscientious drummer who does this quite a lot for other people, he also sent me a mono, just the output of his drum brain. Oh, just silence that one. So there's just the raw audio from his drum unit. So I thought, well, I'd like to have the freedom to put that proper big 80s kit on it. So he sent me a MIDI file. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to mute both of these and I'm going to import the MIDI file so that you can see basically the steps I had to use. So Huey Lewis MIDI drumming.mid. There we go. In fact, I'll go to the downloads folder in case I've done anything to it. There we go. So I'm just going to put that in here. There we go. So at the moment, you will hear pretty much the similar thing that I played at the start. Excuse me? Excuse me? No. Can't hear any hi-hats there. Or there. So I had to go in and have a little fix. So I had his actual drum brain track here just to check what sounds I actually needed. So there's like an open hi-hat and then a closed hi-hat. So I had to go into here. Now this can happen, it depends what mode you're in, it depends if one of the pads is set to a different MIDI note. You've got to be a little bit careful with this. So if I just go into this, you can see at the bottom, well, I've got my kick and snare there, and the hi-hats should be over here, but instead they're underneath. Okay, that's all right. So basically all I need to do then is to go into the scaler here and get all of the hi-hats that are closed, which are those, and move them up to F#1. Which is basically the default hi-hat. So if I just do that. There we go. And then every open hi-hat there was, which is basically everything here. There we go, just make sure they're all there, that's fine. And these all had to go to A#1, because that's where open hi-hat by default is. This should now, hopefully, resemble what came in on that other audio track. Cool. Okay. Now, what I've also got, I've got the UAD Ocean Way modeler here, which is basically giving that big room sound. If I just switch that off for a minute, you can get a really good sound just by using one of the Waves plugins or any of the drum kits on Logic. I'm actually using one of the Contact sounds here, the 80s drummer sound, which is fantastic. There is a crash cymbal. It's quite a lot lower in level than the other things. Now this could be to do with the sensitivity of each pad, or indeed it could be in the mix of your drummer. So if I just go into this, into the Contact sound, and make sure that I've got some sort of room mix. There we go, channel mix. Let's see what happens with that. Now the hi-hats are obviously very loud, so you can go into your mixer and then just turn your hi-hats down and maybe the overheads down as well. Really, the choice is yours. Once you've got the MIDI notes and the relative loudnesses, as you can see there, you can tell that that is a human being playing that electronic drum kit because all the volumes are different. This means that you can then just tweak to your heart's content. Now, you may find, indeed, that those Roland hi-hats, for example, those open hi-hats, tend to be less dynamic than the actual closed hats. So it could be that that open hi-hat is just a bit too much. So we could actually go in and find those. There we go, there they are. Just those. Now this is the trouble, you had to just widen the window a little bit just to find all those open hi-hats. There they are. And then you can go to the velocity tool and just bring them all down a bit. That may be a little bit low, but you can then temper the ones that are too loud. Now those other hi-hats, the closed ones, I'm going to need to do something about those as well because they're a little bit quiet. But we do have one that is full volume, so that means that you can't, because you can't maximize something that's actually maximum in the first place. So what we could do is we could take that one down, and anything else that's 127, and it's always red, at least in Logic anyway. Now, are there any other red ones? No. Yes, there's one there. This is the problem when you have sounds that are combined, like the hi-hats, for example, on the mixer in Logic are going to be the same. The open hi-hats and closed hi-hats will be given the same treatment. So you might have that sort of problem where you think, well, I can't do one with respect to the other. So that means that you just have to go in, find those hi-hats there. There we go. And then I can bring them all up now. See what it's like at the beginning. That's a little bit better. There is a loud open hi-hat there, which I'm not so sure about. That one there. The crash cymbal's not very loud. There you go. You can do all sorts of things here just to correct that drum mix. And it will change according to the drum kit that you have. So this is not an exact science. It really just, revolves around just listening out for those cymbals and the balance between them and making sure the kick and the snare are the right sounds, for example. But what you can then do is with the Ocean Way modeler, you can really make these powerful. Perhaps a little bit too much. All of that from just a MIDI file from an electric drum kit.